And would you recommend your own career paths for students? So I kind of want to hear what each of you guys think about that. Hello everyone, my name is Sohile Ali. I want to welcome you back to another story on my YouTube channel. Today I'm here with my three older cousins, Parwana, Mariam, and Faisal, and they're going to share a little bit about their own story, their own individual journey, and how they got to where they are today. I made a video featuring the three of them on my YouTube channel a while back called My Story, where I told a little bit about each of them and how I looked up to them and what I learned from them growing up. But today we're going to hear from each of their own stories individually and how they got to where they are today. So I just want to thank them for agreeing to do this video, and we're just going to jump right into it. All right, real quick guys, if you could each just introduce yourself and a summary of what you do now and how you got to where you are right now. So you want to start with Parwana?
My name is Parwana Nourzad, and I am an attorney. I'm an associate at Quarles & Brady, so it's a law firm. We're a national law firm, and I practice in the areas of commercial litigation and products liability. I'm a former prosecutor, and I'm a former IU grad, undergrad, and law school.
My name is Miriam, and I'm a nurse on the postpartum unit at IU North. And I went to Indiana University Nursing School, went there for 4 years.
My name is Faisal Nourzad. I'm currently a third-year emergency medicine resident in upstate New York. I went to undergrad at IU. I did my master's at IUPUI, and then I went to medical school in Midwestern University in Chicago, and then matched in upstate New York. So that's where I'm at right now.
Could each of you guys share at what point in your lives, or like a moment where you guys knew that you wanted to become a doctor, a nurse, and an attorney?
Sure, yeah, I think for me it started early on. I already knew in high school, there's always just me joking around that I wanted to go to medical school. I didn't know if it would come to be. And then as soon as I started college, I was a pre-med major initially, and you hit the initial bumps, and wanted to change my major because I thought it was too hard, but I stuck with it, and just being persistent and doing my master's, finally got into medical school. And so I think it was always a dream of mine to go to medical school, and so that's why I stuck with it.
I started IU as a biology major, and halfway through my freshman year of college, I switched to nursing when I realized I wanted to go to optometry school. I wanted to be an optometrist, and I realized that was just going to be not enough patient interaction for me. I wasn't going to be able to make the impact that I wanted to with my patients. So I switched to nursing, which I thought was perfect for me, which now I've realized it was. So yeah, I really love it.
Yeah, similar for me. I think I just always knew it was a great position for me. I like to talk, I like to argue. I think it's an amazing profession to be able to help somebody, but also continue to grow. You know, it's one of those, I think, very unique professions where you never can get too comfortable. Everything's constantly changing. You're constantly having to reinvent yourself, and that's something that always was very intriguing to me. So that's why I was always interested in it, and how I ended up here.
As I explained earlier, I made a video a few years back called My Story. It was actually for a class to become a resident assistant at IU. Each of my cousins here were all resident assistants, RAs, during their time at IU, and I kind of followed their footsteps, joining the job. I was working in the dorms, and I loved every minute of it last year. So going off of that, as each of you are Indiana University alum, could you share a little bit about your experience being an undergrad there at IU Bloomington, as well as being RAs?
Yeah, absolutely. So Indiana University, it was probably the best time of my life. I think Bloomington's a great town. Having Indiana there makes it phenomenal. It was a great experience. Being from Bloomington, I already knew that I was going to go to IU. I wasn't going to go anywhere else, so I knew the school. I got very lucky into becoming an RA. I think in one way that my older sister was already an RA, so I kind of knew what it was and what she did, and I really liked it. I wanted to get involved on campus. I did a groups program, which is a program for first-generation low-income students starting out in Indiana. It was a very unique program, and there I met Cedric Harris, who was a phenomenal mentor, and he kind of directed me into becoming an RA, and then I kind of fell into it being a freshman starting out there. And my resident assistant actually recommended for me to become an RA, and I had never told her that I wanted to be an RA or that I had interest in it. I just built a great relationship with her. Being a freshman, she taught me great about the campus and how to get around, and she was just a great help, and I wanted to give that back being in Indiana. Again, I got very lucky because I got some, my foreign language credits made me into a sophomore my second semester freshman year, and they needed an RA in Briscoe, and I happened to apply, and they pulled me in and for an interview and gave me the job. And then afterwards, I actually asked my residence manager, I was like, did I get the job because my sister, you guys knew her being a resident assistant? She said no, she actually liked me during the interview, liked my application, and so they actually picked me. They had no idea that she was actually an RA there. So I became an RA my second semester freshman year, so it's pretty awesome.
So I didn't know what being an RA really meant. All I knew is free room and board. So that's all I cared about when I applied. I was like, great, you're gonna pay for my housing, you're gonna pay for my food, I'll do whatever. And then I started, and it was fantastic. You know, I think Cedric is somebody that was a huge mentor to me too. I happened to land in Teeter, and I asked for Teeter, and so it was great that I ended up there. The reason I knew about Teeter is because in high school I worked at the Wright food court. I was I guess your lunch lady. You probably saw me sometimes serving food if you were there getting lunch. And that's how I met Cedric. I ended up at Teeter, and it was one of the, like he described it, one of the most fun times ever. IU itself, Indiana University, going to school there was a great experience, but then being an RA just connected me to the university in a way that just being a student was never going to do. You know, I was close to school administration, I was close to policy making, I was able to help my peers that were my age, and guide them, and then also it pushed me to grow faster, learn faster, because I had to be a role model. So then you push yourself to be better, you know, because that's how Indiana University looks at its RAs. And it was a fantastic experience. And after my first year, I knew I had to do it again, and so I was an RA the entirety of my college career, and it was a phenomenal experience.
So IU was an incredible experience. It was probably one of the best times of my life so far, and just from the collegiate, you know, world to the sports, the football games, the basketball games, to your classes. The campus in of itself is amazingly beautiful. So it was fantastic. And then just being an RA, I remember being younger in high school, and I would come visit her as an RA, and I remember being like, wow, this is so cool. She gets to be the boss of her floor, of her building, and the kids are her age, and everyone looks up to her, and I was like, I want to be this. I want to be able to lead people, help them, and I truly did. I remember girls coming up to me talking about issues they had or their experiences they had, or they were asking for advice, and it was incredible. So it was the best experience ever, and I would do it all over again.
You guys already mentioned, you know, Cedric Harris from RPS played a significant impact on each of your undergrad careers. As we're still looking back at the undergrad career, was there another experience or another individual that you remember looking back on made a significant impact on you, or just a moment, like an aha moment, that you kind of look back to and are appreciative of that happened while you were at IU?
I think the people that played the most influential certainly were my parents, who was constantly pushing us to you know, and directing us to seek higher, to push us further, you know, and push boundaries. Certainly my sisters were a lot of help. I think there's several mentors that I had, you know, in IU that helped me get through just with RPS. Tiana, my residence manager that was there. I can't remember really a certain moment, but I think overall I felt like in all my classes you always got the help you needed. You know, and if you wanted to seek help, they wanted you to succeed. Everyone is there to help you succeed. So I think overall that's pretty much what it was for me.
Absolutely, I have to agree. My parents were the number one influencers in my life, and then my siblings, but also Dennis Perkins was my RA manager, and I mean, you just grow to become very close to your managers, to your leaders. So he was not only a boss to me, but a mentor. He encouraged me, and he truly guided me in the right direction. So I have to thank him for sure.
I think my parents, they work really hard, so then when you see somebody work that hard, you feel like you have to match that ability, that work ethic, that drive, because otherwise you're just failing. You're failing them, you're failing yourselves. And so that was really great to have role models like that work so hard and care and push you and support you. And then, yeah, I think as a family, we sort of stick together, and so you have a little village, you know, and there are so many times you fall, and there's so many pitfalls. And there are so many times that you have to pick yourself back up. You know, it's not fun. And I think everybody in every profession experiences that. And no matter what background and race and ethnicity, you experience that where you just fall. And I think that the most important aspect of life is having somebody to say you can pick yourself back up and you can keep moving and you'll be just fine. And sometimes the people that don't keep going could be the sharpest and the smartest and the most hardworking, but they don't have that voice. And we had that voice, whether it was my sister or brother or my mom and dad, we've had that voice. I even established a relationship with the parking operations director. It's like I just was really terrible with parking my car right in front of the building because I worked a lot, and so then I would have to rush to class, and so I parked my car wherever, whenever, to get to class. And I remember calling him once, and I had something like 2 or 3 tickets, and I said, you know what, I'm so sorry, but I can't pay for these. They're like $50 each. Can you work with me? And he said, let's meet. And I went to his office and I explained to him what happened for each ticket. And he said, you know what, this will be your graduation gift for me. And he just wrote off all my tickets. And I think it's just that, you know, humanizing people, establishing relationships at IU. I think there's so many people that were available and accessible. And if you use those resources, then they're there to help you succeed. And we made the best of those situations and really, really relied on them.
You know, I'm still in my undergrad career. I'm going to be a junior in the fall. What advice would you have for students that are either pre-law or pre-nursing or pre-med that are maybe having doubts about their undergraduate studies right now, maybe trying to figure out if this is the right path for them? Would you recommend your own career paths for students? So I kind of want to hear what each of you guys think about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't think it matters whether you're engineering, pre-law, pre-nursing. I mean, for me, being pre-med, you know, what I can speak of, you're gonna hit a lot of barriers. There's gonna be several times where you're gonna doubt yourself and tell yourself that this is not what you can do, this is beyond your abilities, that you need to pick something else, and that you will struggle and it won't be easy. But my advice is to be persistent and continue chasing your dream. If you have your mind to it, continue following that. No matter how many mental barriers you have, break them down and chase that dream. And it will pay off. I mean, for me, it wasn't easy. I was in a direct admit right away after from undergrad. I had to do a master's, and so. But once you finally make it and you get through medical school, I mean, I love what I do right now and the career I'm going to be in. So I'm very ecstatic, you know. And so my advice is just keep pushing. It won't be easy. There's going to be a long nights. Long nights of you crying, maybe, you know. I can't say if I have not, but may have. But just keep persistent, be persistent, and follow your dream, you know.
I switched from biology major to pre-nursing. And at that point, you are second-guessing things and you're questioning. And but I just felt it in my heart that nursing was the path for me. And then at that point, even then, it's not guaranteed that you'd get into nursing. So obviously everybody knows how hard it is and how competitive it is. And so then you're thinking of your plan B. But I just want you to know, if you're going that route, just to remember that everyone else is feeling exactly the way you are feeling. Everyone else is thinking about that plan B. What should I do if I don't get in? Do I wait another year, apply again? That's another year wasted. Or do I go another path? And so just remember that everyone else is human. They're all feeling the way you are. And just believe in yourself, because I don't think I did very much when I was applying, and then even throughout nursing school when it was challenging. But in the end, it's going to be okay. Work hard, have fun as well, but also just remember you can do it if you work hard enough.
Yeah, I think I can't really say anything better than they did, but I would just, in short, fake it till you make it. You know, I think that really worked out for me. And I think it's just like in everything in life. I think take initiative and go for it. There's so many people that'll tell you you can't or you won't, and just say, well, let's prove them wrong. You know, what's the worst that happens? You can't or you won't. It's not the end of life, you know. You'll find another path. But I think just stick with it, and if you don't know something, act like you do, have the confidence that you do, and you can learn. You know, everybody else has learned it. Warren Buffett wasn't born smart, wasn't born wealthy. You know, I think you just have the initiative, you have motivation, you have drive, you have it all. You just have to work at it, and fake it till you make it.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. For me, I'm an only child, but living near my 3 cousins here, I didn't feel that way at all. I couldn't have asked for 3 greater role models to have growing up and still to look up to today as I continue on my own journey here. Thank you all for wanting to do it.
Thanks for having us. We
Thank
love
you
you.
for having us.
No problem. Love you guys too.
My name is Parwana.
My name is Miriam.
My name is Faisal.
Thank you for listening to our
story.
story.